Well, good morning. It's still morning.
It is still morning.
Let me go ahead and stop the share. I think we're good with the video. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to Lyrical Lessons for Life. I'm Kelsey Miles. This is my cat, Rhodey. There she is. She was in the video for this week. And Joanne Adducci. Hello, Joe.
Kelsey, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. Doing really well. Last week we talked about I Go Back, the song that I wrote, and we talked about ruminating thoughts and thinking about the past. And it was funny because I said, oh, I'm going to find the perfect song for living in the moment. And as I was trying to find, so that way we can move forward with the discussion of, okay, well, once you do the whole ruminating thoughts thing, now let's think about living in the present and how do you move forward after that. And so, perfect transition into what we wanted to do today. And as I was needing to pick and make a decision, I was not living in the moment, and it took
Well,
me
no,
a
let's
while.
qualify that because sometimes we agree to pick the song together. But last week you said, I got this. I'm going to pick this song. And it's so interesting because then kind of the pressure lays on top of you and all the things happen. So yeah. What about living in the moment?
I know, right? And so, yeah. So today, this week, I picked a song by Corinne Bailey Ray, and it's a song I think a lot of us know. It's "Put Your Records On," and I love this song. And there's so much in this song. I almost think we can do more than just one show about it, and more than one podcast. And so, hello, everyone. It looks like we've got a great crowd today, which is awesome.
Super fun.
Yeah, it is a cold morning.
Yeah, my eyes are doing something weird. I can't focus. I can't read what's coming up. So you may have to do that for us.
I'm
Um,
happy to. We've got Mary, Diane in the house. I
I saw
love it.
Megan pop in earlier. So yep, this is good.
I don't know, it was someone with the name of M. Cat. I like her already. I
That's
love
Megan. Yep.
it. I love it. Yes. Yeah. So
Awesome.
let's dive in. And you said you wanted to start by talking a little bit about what's going on in the universe right now.
Well, yeah, because sometimes, and for the longest time, I was in this place, even though I love to chase the sun and I love to follow the moon, I wasn't aligning to the energetic impact of our lunar cycle and of the different planets and what they go through as it would relate to me and the way I was feeling. And this week has been really strong energetically. We had this huge full moon that was a super moon and super close to the earth. It was a full moon, a blood moon, and a lunar eclipse. And during an eclipse, you're either going to have a manifesting eclipse or a releasing eclipse. And energetically, when we're in tune, I mean, we're all just energy. So when we're more in tune, we can align to what that means. I'm going to try and manifest new things because the energy of manifesting is turned way up. Or I'm going to try and release more things because the energy for releasing, and in this case, with this moon, releasing limiting beliefs, releasing old thought patterns, releasing emotions that don't serve us anymore. Yeah, I said that right. So I realized like Wednesday was this beautiful open day to do anything and get all the things done. And I felt like I was in quicksand, that my feet were stuck in the mud, and I just couldn't really do a whole lot. And I ended up just bawling my eyes out. And, really by the end of the day, releasing in my thoughts and in writing all the things that I felt like were holding me back. A lot of this is related to the past. A lot of this is related to the future, the fear of the unknown and all the things, which was kind of leaving out the present moment. But the key there is that I was allowing myself to feel all of that. So actually I was really present. But it starts with what happens from the past and what looks like in the future, and it can be a real mind fuck, if I can say that.
Absolutely. Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know how else to explain it other than those words. This
Right.
is so interesting because Wednesday I had the same thing. So Wednesday, in the comments, let us know if you've had a weird day this week and what day it was, because we need to know if this Wednesday was just an epic Wednesday for all of us.
Yeah.
I also had the same thoughts this Wednesday. I felt like I was stuck in quicksand. Wednesday was the day I was going to make the decision of the choice I was going to do, or the song that we were going to do. And it turned out it didn't happen on Wednesday. So Thursday rolled around and I thought, we're gonna put on the decision making pants here, or dress, whatever you decide that piece of clothing is. And I was like, all right, enough of this. I let my thoughts and my heart and my everything wander on Wednesday. So that's so crazy. We had similar things. This week
Yeah.
has been really nuts. I found a lot of miscommunications popping up in different avenues of my life. And in fact, you and I had the hardest time catching each other. It was so crazy this week.
It was crazy. It was really crazy. It actually, it is sort of amusing to me now, because I do then, when I feel a way that doesn't make sense to me, like, why am I feeling this way? I then go look at how are we in alignment with the planets? Where are we at in the lunar cycle? Megan just said today is the day for her. And tomorrow Mercury goes into retrograde. So if there's, and Mercury always kills me, we're going to knock on wood of some sort that nothing happens to us here with with our internet and all the things. But yeah, it can happen 2 to 3 days before an event, or 2 to 3 days after. And being in tune to it, really being in the present moment with it, actually allows it all to just happen, instead of the resistance. The resistance is not where we need to be in the present moment.
Yeah. And if anyone is like me and who didn't believe in any of this stuff, uh, and I don't really want to fully believe, but I'll tell you what, when things start getting weird, it's sometimes nice. For me, I just like to be able to hold on to something and say, maybe this is why. And
Is that the chemist in you?
it is. It's got to be hard proof. But this explains a lot, so I'm holding on to it to dear life. I'm like, obviously, it's because Mercury's going to be going into retrograde that I've been having all these weird things.
Right.
So,
And Diane's so funny. She says that she's also had a great week manifesting.
oh, great.
So, it'd be really interesting, Diane, to dive in. Well, and then, dive in a little bit deeper with your specific astrological chart and see how that works for you. Because when the sun and moon are in opposition, it's a beautiful experience. And maybe there's something to some of that. The key, though, for me, when I think of Diane, is that we have the same birthday. We're a year apart, but we have the same birthday. So I wasn't feeling like manifesting a whole lot this week, but maybe that's coming. Maybe like by next week, I'll be all good to go.
I love that. I love that. Now, as we talk about all this, maybe some of everyone out there, I don't know, is thinking, how does this deal with the present moment? So let me put my chemistry cap on and how I'm viewing this, in that as we go through our days and all this stuff, and things from the past and future come up, what I love about this conversation in particular, and what we're talking about, is that you're allowing things to kind of flow through and in and out, right? Allowing the emotions to happen. And that all can only occur if you're comfortable with the present, And so today we want to talk about loving and living in this present moment. And so I picked this song. I picked this song because it has this vibe in it where the music and the lyrics connect you to this feeling that says, just let your hair down. Just enjoy it. Okay. And so there's one thing in particular I want to first bring up, and then we'll talk about the song as a whole. The second verse says, blue as the sky, sunburnt and lonely, sipping tea in a bar by the roadside. Just relax, just relax. And I love that she uses the word lonely. this does not sound like a bad lonely. She is literally feeling lonely. However, you can tell she's really happy and allowing it to just happen. What better way to embrace and show this idea of living in the present moment and
Yeah.
loving it, right?
Yes. Yeah. You know what? When I hear that, I immediately go to something that I realized. And then of course, it's so funny. Not haha funny, but more interestingly funny when I have one of those moments of, oh, I get that. Then I go do some research about it. So there is a distinct difference between being lonely and being alone and
Mhm.
the feelings that go with that based on the context. So you can find and really discover so much about yourself when you embrace the idea of being alone in a peaceful, calm way, not the, oh, woe is me way. And that's how I hear her lonely as well, that she may be alone, but it's not the sad, lonely kind of alone. It's the, hey, wait a sec, I get to just be. And when you can just be in the present moment, that's when you learn to love at a completely different level. Love yourself, love everything around you, have gratitude for what's right in front of you. And it's a beautiful difference, a beautiful, separation of loneliness versus being alone.
I love that. I love that so much. Being able to take feelings that we have and then understand the difference here of, she says the word lonely, but it can also be used to describe something that is just, I am alone. Okay. But is that negative? Yeah. I love that. That's really great.
Well, and I think that, where she says just relax right after that, it's the reminder that it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That she doesn't need to then answer to anyone else's expectations of where she should be, right? We don't need to should ourselves.
Don't should yourself.
Weird to say.
That is my favorite. That is going in the Harmony Journal we're working on. Folks, we're working on a journal that will be something where you can take, and I'm editing the podcast now, and you can go back and listen to all the podcasts, and it goes in, works with a journal for you to help keep track of everything. And we have quotes at the top of the second page for each of the episodes, and we have to find that quote might end up on every page. Don't should you? I love it.
It's a good reminder for sure to remember that there's nothing that requires the pressure of the word should right in front of you in any given moment.
I love that. I love that. Yeah. All right. So we'll end with the quote that you found later. But do you want to just dive into more of some of these lyrics together?
Oh, I would love to. Yes. Let me grab them because I
Yeah.
can't put them in
I'm
front
gonna
of me.
I'm
And
gonna
then,
read the chorus. Yeah, let me
oh,
read the
yes.
chorus to everyone. It says, "Girl, put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. You go ahead, let your hair down."
You can't sing that to us, huh?
I love that. Well, I recorded it. You'll have to go back and watch it. Otherwise, YouTube flags things,
I
and
know.
then it says, and then it's YouTube. I mean, we're talking and giving props to fantastic song and songwriter. So, but that's not enough. They want copyright claims. Okay, and then Sapphire and Faded Jeans. I hope you get your dreams. Just go ahead, let your hair down. You're gonna find yourself somewhere, somehow. What I got chills thinking and reading this, that what I love about this song, and it's right in line with what I wanted to find for this week, to go from I go back with the ruminating thoughts into living in the present, is she is so clearly saying, there are things in my future, there are things in my past, And I'm going to, I still want those and I still want to change some things, or, I still have all those thoughts around me, but I am going to live for the now. I'm going to let my hair, just let your hair down. Live now. And then in the verses, that's when she really brings us in, paints a picture. I just love this song. It's just,
the there's joy. There's so much joy in the way the song comes together too, that it doesn't feel scary to let your hair down, to realize that, you still can have your dreams. In fact, I've heard more in the last probably year and a half or 2 years that you need to pick your dreams back up and put them out there, because we all have dreams. We've all had dreams growing up. Put them out there. But it's not scary anymore when you stay in the present moment, when you do that thing and just go ahead and let your hair down. You can allow them to happen instead of the controlling, the forcing, the ruminating, the anxiety. None of that serves any time in the present moment.
I love that. I love that.
Oh, Charlotte's here. Hadn't heard from her yet.
Yes. Oh, Charlotte says, I sometimes think of lonely as akin to hungry, ready for the new, be it a person or experience. I try to look at lonely in a bright light. I love that. I
Yeah.
love that. Looking at lonely as I'm searching for something. How
Right.
exciting.
Right.
How exciting. The perception of that really changes and highlights that you're allowing and accepting in the present, right? That's I'm reading that and I'm thinking of all the present moment stuff, and I'm just thinking about my Wednesday of when I was totally not in the present.
Well, now you're not in the present when you're thinking about Wednesday, right? Oh
Let's
my God.
talk about that.
Yeah.
I know this. I'm aware of it. I call myself out on it. Let me know in the chat if this is you or ever happens. You literally cannot be in the present moment if you're worrying about the future or the past. You are not living in the present. You really aren't fully present.
Mm-mm.
Now, I know this. I know these things. But I'll tell you what, I've been having to tell myself. It's something I'm really coming to bringing up this awareness for myself. And it's fantastic. And I don't believe that it will stop anytime soon, that I'll have to continue to bring this up for myself. But does anyone else feel that way, where you have to remind yourself, I'm worrying about the future. I'm obviously not here in the present.
Oh yeah. That is it. Yes. It's a very common place to be, because we all have and have had and grown up with expectations of what's going to happen, expectations of what comes next, or we're so overscheduled that we can't live in the present moment because we're constantly thinking of what happens next. Driving down the road, you're like, okay, what am I planning for dinner? What am I going to do tonight? Do I have to pick up the kid from practice? Oh shit, I didn't do the thing yesterday. That takes you right out of the consciousness of the present moment. And there's all kinds of ways to get yourself more grounded in the present moment. But the first thing that you have to do is literally stop. You have to stop in that moment. And there's a methodology I facilitate called the Feel Good Life. And in that, we have 3 steps in order to get you out of what we call the red zone, out of the ruminating thoughts, out of being stuck in past and future thinking, whatever it might be. And the first step is to stop. That's a really important step. And then reconnecting to yourself through your breath is the second step. And you can look at any suggestions people use as a way to get present, and it's through your breath. But yeah, it can be, we can easily get stuck in all the things that maybe should have happened yesterday or will happen in the future. And yeah, we're not conscious in the present moment when we're there.
No, we are not. There is science behind that idea about using the breath, because
Yeah.
our bodies don't understand the difference between stress, they don't understand differences of stress. They just understand stress. And so I didn't believe it for a while. I was like, sure, yeah, okay, breathe slower. Whoop-de, no, this is all happening in my mind, and it's true. And so it's a backwards way to help your mind understand, help your body understand the different kind of stress. Is there a saber-toothed tiger right on your trail, or are you just worried because you realize you forgot someone's birthday and now you gotta just
Yeah.
do this thing? So by slowing your breath down, you're consciously telling your body, there's no saber-toothed tiger. I'm stressed, but not fear of survival stress, because it doesn't know the difference.
You've got it. Absolutely. It is a very automatic response, really reaction for our brain and our body to respond that way. I love that you use saber-tooth tiger. I always use saber-tooth tiger because I mean, there used to be a time when, our ancestors did have saber-tooth tigers chasing them and they did need to worry. And then all of that gets passed on in a different way, generationally. So our brain is wired to automatically think we're in danger when we're not.
When we're
So
not. Yeah, exactly. And I use saber-tooth tiger because it reminds me that, like, this is ingrained. It's an instinct. It is natural, and most of the stresses that we have are, they're very different there's no survival stress, right? It's more of, when you take a moment and you stop, like you said, you realize, like, okay, some of what I'm worrying about is, like, I didn't lose a limb, I didn't, nothing's on fire. It's okay. I just need to stop and reconnect here, and let my hair down.
yeah, can we look at what Charlotte talk about
Please, yeah.
metaphorically? I mean, when you look at song lyrics and then, metaphorically how they align to life and experience in life. I love what she did here, where put your records on, to me, is also sharing records or experiences, that those could be the experiences that, she is referring to. Your favorite song, looking at your best lessons with the friend who is saying, let your hair down. Yeah. The whole metaphor inside of what you just did, Charlotte, is so beautiful, because if we ignore them, if we don't bring them with us, they will show back up one day. Right. And so yeah, that's beautiful.
I love that. Put your records on. Tell me your favorite song. It's definitely a conversation, and the song invites you to. What I love about this song too, and what Charlotte just said, is it invites you to share it with her, right? And it's a song that you can send to a friend, and you can say, hey, hey, let's get together and have coffee. This reminded me of you. We should chat, whatever. And
Yeah.
I love that. Put your records on. Share your experiences.
Yeah. I think you used a word earlier that really has been just such a powerful word for me, as I have come full circle in my life, so that I can exist as often as possible in the present moment. Notice how I say that, because there's never a perfect, never say never, but perfect is not the goal. The word is awareness, though. And to have the awareness of what is going on in front of you is the consciousness that you need to say, wait a second, oh my gosh, I'm ruminating, I'm stuck in my past thoughts, or uh-oh, I'm worried about the future. I'm not in this moment right here. And to have the awareness is like the first step in all of the pieces to the puzzle that brings you more closer closer to the present moment.
I love that. Diane does something I had talked about earlier, is that daily she has to remind herself of, hey, maybe I should live in the present moment right now instead of worrying about all the things that aren't right in front of me. And I think as I go through that, and I find myself almost every day saying, like, hey, why don't you just appreciate right now? I'm getting more and more comfortable with accepting and being appreciative of it's just a process, and it's just something that it gets stronger and better with time. But I'm not. There's no shame involved or no resentment towards myself that, hey, you've already talked about this thing to yourself and with other people, so why didn't you just fix it? you know and there's just no room for that, because it's not something that's just a switch. We're humans.
Yes. Yes. Oh, that's it, the human experience. That's why we have to give ourselves grace, and we have to have patience with the moments that we're right inside of, because the human experience takes us in multiple different directions, especially without without the awareness of what's going on in front of us, which I will tell you is the reason that we started the conversation earlier talking about the energy of the, astrological stuff going on, because that awareness can bring some peace to a way that you may feel that you can't put your finger on.
Exactly. Regardless of if I believe all of it, it sure as heck made it was just nice to have something I could, put my finger on of, well, if this is the thing, it explains a lot this week.
Right. Right. Exactly.
And yeah. Yeah. So in the song, I want to bring up too, in the bridge, she brings up, some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. It says, when you gonna realize that you don't even have to try any longer? Do what you want to. This goes back to Charlotte talking about, hey, this sounds like a conversation she's having with a girlfriend, talking about, put your record on, tell me your favorite song. And having some elements again of past and future ideas of I thought I was stronger. I mean, hello, I have said those words to myself so many times. I'm like, I thought I could have handled this. And when you're going to realize you don't even have to try any longer. Do what you want to. Just allow. Just breathe,
Yeah. It's funny. That's exactly the verse. I didn't know it was the bridge because I don't know enough about music, funny as that is. But that's exactly where I was going to take us next.
Oh, great.
Those words, because I think it's important to just, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but be in the moment when that comes up. And it's okay that you look at it like, oh, I thought I was going to be able to get through this differently, or something, just to know that there's a reason to connect back to that may have pulled you back a little bit, but it's okay. I'm really, 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 it's really important. One, to give yourself grace during these moments, and two, to celebrate when you come out of them. We often don't celebrate, and giving grace and celebrating are both present moment actions.
They are. And you can't, you can, I say the word can't, I think that you can't do that if you aren't in the present.
No, it's not conscious. Mm-mm.
I should have started at the beginning of the bridge. She does say, just more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. And it's this person that's thinking about things in her past. This is why I chose it this week, coming out of that ruminating thoughts from I Go Back, because you can tell and you can feel and you can hear this person was thinking like the I Go Back song, that blues song I wrote of just ruminating. And finally, this is when they get out of the muck. Just more than I could take. Pity for pity's sake. Some nights kept me awake. I thought that I was stronger. When you're going to realize that you don't even have to try any longer, do what you want to.
Yes.
Release it. I got chills when I just said that.
I did too. I did too. I mean, right there, it takes me back to the fact that my friend Megan messaged me earlier and said, are you feeling this too? And it gave me the opportunity to say, yeah, and guess what? I bawled my eyes out. Like, you think that you're strong enough to just make it through and it's just going to be a thing, but it can take you right down. And it's okay. It's okay. So yeah, that verse, that bridge is exactly that experience that we had together. So
Absolutely. And just as a songwriting kind of thing and just thinking about songs in general, one of the things I good songs really do, and this is one, in the bridge, if there is a bridge in the song, it kind of it takes the story and then it just puts a nice little bow on it, and then you get back into the chorus and you're like, hell yeah, here we are. And the chorus means something the entire time. And then you do the bridge, and then it's like a yeah. This is totally it bridges tend to just take the story and just finish it, you know. It's this I love this song. This is
okay,
yeah.
here's a question. Here's a technical musical question. When
What?
does the bridge show up? Like, is it anywhere in the song where things stop repeating themselves? I guess I don't understand, because
Oh yeah.
to me, that does absolutely take us to the next level of where the song wants to go.
This is a great question. So in songs, you typically have three main parts. So you have a verse, a chorus, and then you have a bridge. Now, typically, for most pop songs or most songs that you're going to hear on the radio, it goes verse. So it's like verses are telling stories and choruses are something. Typically, when you first hear a song, you'll remember something in the chorus. We don't always remember verses. Like, you can think about your favorite songs and you can think, I can sing the chorus, but if someone were to ask you to start at the second verse, you'd be like, I don't know.
Right.
But the choruses we remember. So the choruses are typically catchy, and the choruses typically have what's called the hook, and the hook of the song and the thought, that the melody line and the lyric that really reminds you. So most songs start with a verse, and then it goes into a chorus, and then it goes into a second verse, and the two verses are telling a story, and then there's another chorus. And then a lot of songs will then have a bridge. And the bridge is this section of a song, and you'll know it when you hear it. It sounds a little different. And you can feel the landscape of the song taking you like a little bit different way. It's almost as if it found another door. The song is going forward, and all of a sudden there's another door. And the song goes, hey, come through here. And you go through, and you're like, whoa. It just either adds to the story, changes it a bit, wraps it up in a bow and a little present. And then what happens is after that bridge, you go back into the chorus, and the chorus seems even more powerful.
Wow.
That's a good bridge. So what you'll listen for is a change in the melody line, a change in the instrumentation. It might be a change in rhythm. And these things involving lyrics as well really give us a change in the feeling of the song, and takes us, fulfills the story, changes the story, adds to the story, wraps the story up, whatever, goes back to the chorus, and the chorus still means a lot, and sometimes, most of the time, even more.
Yeah. That's really incredible, because then when I think about the power of the written song, like when someone sits down to write a song and how you've described that, or, when Keith does that, it's so incredible to know that there is an element of that inside of your writing, and the impact of the song then can actually be even more powerful. And I think that's, Kelsey, I'm going to tell you, I think that's one of the reasons that when you write, people respond, because you're that thoughtful in how you're pulling things together, and not just the story, but the experience.
Thanks for saying that. It makes me slow at finishing things. I feel slow. But I absolutely love to think about how that feels. In my song, I Go Back, I actually don't have a written bridge. I put the bridge into the music. So there is chord changes, and then there's a vocal just kind of building thing. Because there's so much with songwriting, but I imagine having someone having these ruminating thoughts, and allowing that to be this bridge where the bridge was only musical, and then it just takes you onto this building instrumental part. So the bridge to me was just musical in that one. Yeah, I think a lot about these things and what I want you to feel in songs, and I think the key takeaway, in my opinion, some of the best songs are ones, in this case with Corinne Bailey Rae's song. This song you can apply to yourself. And when there's a really good song and you can apply it to yourself, I think that is genius.
Yeah.
People
Well,
write that.
yes, and that is why when you mentioned that it was a bridge, my brain, I never even learned how to read music when I was a kid, so I have no idea. I just go, right? And when you explained that, it gives me a better understanding. Now it makes me want to go back and look at songs that I resonate with and see how I might hear the experience in the song differently. So I really appreciate knowing that. I also call out the fact that when you don't get stuck writing the song and forcing yourself to finish it, that's a really good thing, Kelsey, because you're not, when you get stuck and then you're overthinking,
Mm,
not letting it flow. So when you can look back at the song then, or have it in front of you in the present moment, not look back at it in the past, but have it with you in the present moment, then you can feel into it, and you may have new experiences that all of a sudden allow you to let it flow differently and finish it. So I hope
oh yeah.
you don't beat yourself up when you don't get these, because I know I've heard a little bit of that. And you have books and journals of unfinished written songs. I bet all musicians do.
Yeah.
But yeah, staying in the present moment with the new experiences that come in to finish those songs is super fun and powerful from an outsider looking in. So thank you for that.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that too. And I the longer that I songwrite and I do all of this is I there are songs I go back and I finish with a different eye. And I'm excited. I've got some that I'm working on that I'm like, whoa, my life experiences just turned this song upside down in a really cool way.
Do
And
we have one
so
of those for next week? No,
we
no pressure.
maybe because yeah. We're gonna have an original next week.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
I know that. So what I'm digging about the conversation in the chat right now is, one, Diane is realizing that she may have reacted to somebody this morning, and to sit in that moment is gone, right? New moment, fresh moment is something that came to Isabel in through a spirit, and Isabel is the founder of Feel Good Life, creator of Feel Good Life methodology. New moment, fresh moment. You can look at that reaction, Diane. You can look at that reaction, realize maybe it was an off the cuff, you weren't quite feeling connected to yourself when you did it, but just look at it as the witness, see it, love on it, and then if you're compelled, send another response that says, "Hey, I was having a moment. Here's what I would have rather have said to you." That's okay, because you're grounded in the present moment when you can respond that way out of love. Don't worry about it. It was 3 hours ago. That's in the past. Which brings me to this quote that I found that I'll read when we finish up, whenever we're ready. But I love what's, just the conversation.
Yeah. I love what's happening. I feel like Diane, I feel like you might be thinking this too, because this is what I'm thinking. Sure, Joe, that sounds really fucking easy. Thanks.
Easy.
I already know that. We all know this. We know all of these things.
Oh,
We know that we need to not worry about the thing, and we worry about the thing. And so it's just one of these like
um,
things that we just have to I just have to be okay. I realize I need to be okay. I want to be okay with reminding myself of, hey, are you living in the present? Are you worrying too much about this? Like, maybe just let it, but I think I'll never stop saying those things or
I know.
becoming aware.
I know. I know. It's so funny. And Diane knows me well enough to know that I'm going to do the piece of that, right? And if anybody came to me,
Diane just said, ha, ha, ha.
right? Anybody came to me in that moment, though, I would always take the step back. And what do you want the outcome to be? Like next time you have a conversation with the person, what would you like that to look like? Do you want to sit there knowing that shit, this is what I did? Or do you want to be super vulnerable, authentic to the present moment, which is you going, I really wish I would have done that differently, right? And I don't know why I just said it like that. But that's just, it's such a cool place to be, because that level of vulnerability, when you readdress that, is really present. You're not thinking fear of the future, of the outcome, what if happens if I, and you're not worrying about the past.
Right. And
I love it.
you love it. And I want to say too, she's talking about this volcano. And I do want to say that the more that I have lived in the present and become more aware of some things that I'm doing, and really just like, if I treat it, if I know if I say something and a volcano will blow up with someone, it's actually a big red flag for me that I still have to live my own integrity and respond in a certain way. But if they choose to be a volcano and blow up,
Right.
it's not, it's
Not on
I don't have to keep my little cottage by their volcano. I can just like
I
sorry.
love that. Keep my little cottage by their volcano. Nope. You can pick it up like the Flintstones car and move it right along. Right?
Exactly. And so actually the faster you start to just think about what really feels good in your heart. Are you coming from compassion? Are you having empathy? And if you are, and you're responding, and maybe you say something wrong, whatever, you take it back and you talk to them. And if they're just a volcano, like, what else were you going to do differently? Walk on eggshells so the volcano didn't erupt? Like, you know,
Yeah. I
yeah.
think it's such an interesting, Diane, you just hit something
I
really,
love it. She just said, I really don't
don't
regret.
regret it.
Good
And
for you.
that is the key, because you know what? There is no room for living with regret in this world, not at all. And if you're living with regret, you're living in the past.
You are, and we love the present moment.
That's right.
And yeah,
Yeah. And I love the dialogue, the relationships that are being created as people are here with us, and the conversations that are happening. And Inga, mwah, I'm glad you're here too. I love it, because
yeah.
you just kind of show up here and then pop in a little word or two. And I just love it. And Keith is out there entertaining, which just makes me giggle. So Diane says, she's a mean girl. I'm not planning to talk to her anymore. See, now that is also living in the present moment, because you're setting a boundary. So you're setting a boundary to know that you don't want to bring that low frequency vibration into your world. That is beautiful. Relieved. Yes, relieved. I
I
you
love that.
know, there is I don't know, Kelsey, we could probably have a conversation for another hour about this. Should
Probably
we
could.
try and should
You
I
want
read
to?
the quote?
Yeah. Let's
Ooh,
read the quote and we'll
okay.
wrap up our conversation today about, yeah, Corinne Bailey Rae's song, Put Your Records On. If you haven't listened to it already, I have a really fun cover of it. And I think it's posted below um, in the comments, and you can find it on my YouTube page. But my favorite part is that I was living a situation, like literally when I was filming it, of reminding myself to stay in the moment. Rhodey was a little monster making lots of noise, so I just included her in the video to just allow it and live in the moment. So
Yes.
I'd
Oh,
love
I
if
tell you.
you listen to it and comment on it and let me know what you think. And I really enjoy making these videos for us weekly, of something everyone can go back and listen to as well. So
Yeah, Kelsey, thanks for digging in on the song and the choice, and bringing those lyrics to light the way that you have, as well as, a little music education to go along with it. I really appreciate it.
I'm happy.
So
Okay,
I,
what's the quote that
this
you
quote,
found?
it's from Mirko Tum, And he says, the present moment is the only thing where there is no time. It's the point between past and future. It's always there, and it is the only point we can access in time. Everything that happens in the present moment. Everything that ever happened and will ever happen can only happen in the present moment. It is impossible for anything to exist outside of it.
Hallelujah.
Right. And I will add on to that. What Kelsey and I want is for everyone to love living in that present moment. All of
And
it.
love reminding yourself,
Yeah.
like I do all the time. Are
Yeah.
you living in the present, Kelsey? No, I'm worried about the other 10 things. Whoops. Okay, now I'm gonna love this.
Yeah.
And loving that process, I'm really actually enjoying it as I become more aware. It's kind of like a broken record, but of a really good song. Because every time I remind myself, then I feel really good because I live in the present.
Absolutely. Amen, sister.
Oh, I love these. I'm so excited about next week. We haven't planned next week, and that's okay. But I'm going to write something and I'm going to share it, and it's going to continue the conversation because I love this. I absolutely love this, and I want to thank everyone for this is helping me grow. I've heard someone else tell me that this is their weekly therapy session, and I feel it.
Yes, absolutely it is. So I suspect that we are going to explore the opportunity of infinite possibilities in the future. If we have now, we're talking about, I go back, ruminating the past, we're going to move into the present like we are. And we absolutely want to look at the infinite possibilities of the future and what comes next.
I love that you just said that. That's really what was in my mind this morning, of kind of grasping on to your own power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and walking into it with pride and yeah,
Enlightenment, right?
walking into it with pride.
Good. Beautiful.
Great. All
Thank
right.
you guys for being here. The fun dialogue.
I love it. Yes, thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next Friday.
Absolutely. Next
All
Friday.
right. Take care, everyone.
Love and light, you guys.